It started on June 5th. I called FairPoint to schedule to have my phone disconnected and one connected in his name. I explained to them about his emergency button that he wears and presses to get a hold of an ambulance, and that the phone would have to be done the same day. They called me back on June 6th and said that because they were so far behind, it might be easier if he took over my account and my phone number. And we told them we were fine with that, as long as he didn't go without phone service. Then they called us back on the 8th and said that they could not do that. So, not to worry, they'd disconnect mine on the 12th, like was planned, and have his connected the same day. He might be a couple hours without a phone, but it'd only be a couple hours. On the 11th, I called them again just to make sure everything was going to go through. And they told me that his phone was scheduled to connect between 1 and 3, and mine was going to disconnect between 10 and noon. So on the 12th at 2 o'clock, when he still had no phone, he went to the neighbor's house and called, and they told him that it'd be connected by that night, by 6 o'clock on the 12th. They never connected it. They were closed on the weekends. So June 15th, or Monday, he went over first thing in the morning, and they said, don't worry, we have you down to have your phone connected by 6 o'clock tonight. On the 16th, he went back, still no phone, and they said they didn't know when they were going to connect his phone. He called him twice. They couldn't give him an answer, so then I called. And when I called, they said, well, give us 24 to 48 hours to connect his phone. And it's been past 48 hours now, and he still is without a phone. Their responses have been horrendous. They've told us that it doesn't matter if their employees have made promises or not, they'll do it when they can get to it. They told us that us calling to find out when his phone was going to be connected was slowing them down. I told them I was calling the Bangor Daily News, and they laughed. And then I told them I was going to call the Federal Utilities Commission to report it because it was putting his life in danger not to have a phone. And they said, with all due respect, but we've been really popular with that. So,
Meaning they've been really popular with what?
With people calling the Federal Utilities Commission, that they're not worried about it. They're not in the least bit worried that putting someone's life in danger because they can't provide service when they're supposed to is important to them, that they're not responsible for him. It's come to the point where I'm staying here just to make sure that he's safe.
The taxpayers are paying good money for this button and the unit, and it's only $5 a month for the service.
Right.
For the phone to be hooked up, and they still haven't got around to even hooking it back up. In the middle of the night, if there's a chance I could have a heart attack. The cancer could pretty much immobilize me, and I'd have to have the button to press, or if I fall down while I'm alone, I could press the button and they'll be here within 15 minutes.
He's used the button several times. He's had falls when people couldn't pick him up. He's been home alone and having chest pains and needing an ambulance to get to the hospital. His medical illnesses include a back injury from falling off a roof. He was a roofer part-time and a cook full-time. He fell off a roof, and his spinal cord injuries affected his legs to the point where he relies on a wheelchair. The house is becoming wheelchair accessible, but not quite. And most of the time in the home he has to rely on crutches and arm braces and walkers, so he falls down a lot. He does have cancer, stage 3. He is terminal, and he has
Two different
really
types
bad.
of cancer, Brandy.
Yeah, he has really bad diabetes that causes problems. His diabetes is acting up because of his back injury. You know, he can't exercise and keep his sugars down. Because of the cancer treatments, it causes his sugars to go up, his immune system to go down. So he's had complications in various ranges, including loss of eyesight and hearing. Without the button, he can't get help. Yeah, just connect the phone. It's not that difficult. They could have connected it when they disconnected mine.
Just
No,
FairPoint hasn't really done anything. Their service has really sucked. We need a different phone company
I mean,
in the area. They have a monopoly on the phone in this area. I mean, Verizon we never had problems like this with Verizon.